Imagine taking a prescription to lose, maybe 10 pounds, and suddenly you completely lose your lifelong desire to drink alcohol.
Right, or you just stop impulsive online shopping altogether.
Exactly. So today's deep dive is all about how GLP-1 drugs, like Ozempic and semaglutide, aren't just shrinking waistlines. They are actively rewiring the human brain.
Which is wild to think about.
It really is. Now, a quick but crucial reminder before we jump in. We are not medical professionals. We're just curious guides, synthesizing a stack of recent clinical trials, surveys, and preprints for you. So always consult your doctor about your own health.
Yeah, please do. But the data we're analyzing today, it paints a fascinating picture. I mean, a drug originally designed to manage blood sugar is essentially infiltrating the central nervous system.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because you can think of your brain's reward system as like a volume dial, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
And for a lot of people, these GLP-1s are basically turning that dial down.
Right. And if you're someone constantly fighting cravings, a lower volume brings some much-needed peace. There was a recent Levity survey of over 1,000 users.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, it found that 73% of people taking GLP-1s actually reduced their substance use. Gen Z users even reported a sharp drop in impulsive online shopping.
Wait, really? Like shopping and excessive screen time just dropped?
Just dropped. But there is hard clinical data, too. A recent Lancet trial found semaglutide reduced heavy drinking days by 41% in patients diagnosed with alcohol use disorder. What's fascinating here is the underlying mechanism.
Which is what exactly?
Well, these drugs dampen the mesolimbic dopamine system. So in plain English, they interrupt the loop between craving and consumption.
By blunting that reward high, your brain usually associates with those addictive behaviors, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But wait, I have to push back on this a little bit. If the drug blunts the reward of our bad habits, doesn't it also, blunt the joy of our good ones?
That is a very valid point.
Like, are we just throwing a neurochemical wet blanket over all human pleasure?
Well, that wet blanket effect is the exact reason researchers are raising alarms right now. Because for some individuals, it isn't a peaceful quiet at all. It becomes total numbness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a review over at preprints.org explored this. They looked at people who have a genetic baseline of low dopamine.
Which is called hypodopaminergia.
Right. And those individuals can actually develop reward deficiency syndrome when taking GLP-1s.
Because their volume dial was already set low to begin with, so the drug essentially just mutes it entirely.
Yes, and that dampening effect leads to severe anhedonia, which is basically a complete inability to feel pleasure.
It sounds terrifying.
It is. It's triggering intense anxiety, suicidal ideation, and in some documented cases, even severely exacerbating conditions like hemiplegic migraines.
Oh, man. So this is why there's an urgent push for clinical screening prior to prescribing these.
Exactly. Simple things like the PHQ-9 depression tests. Because your experience relies so heavily on your personal genetic antecedents.
It's almost like wearing a pair of dark sunglasses. Like, they are great if you're stepping out into a blindingly sunny day.
Which would be the hyperdopaminergia.
Right. But it is incredibly dangerous if you're already driving in the dark.
That is a perfect analogy. But dopamine is just one neurotransmitter. If these drugs can cross into the brain to alter our reward pathways, researchers realize something else.
What's that?
They might also be able to reach and repair damaged brain cells in neurodegenerative diseases.
Wait, I'm looking at this Frontiers review on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's right now. Why are researchers testing a diabetes drug for memory loss?
Well, because we are starting to view Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. It's essentially insulin resistance localized in the brain.
Oh, that makes sense.
And the clinical trials are showing remarkable biological effects. Liraglutide was shown on PET scans to actually preserve cerebral glucose metabolism.
No way.
Yeah, and exenatide improved motor scores in Parkinson's patients. The wild part is those improvements persisted even after they stopped taking the drug.
Okay, but is the drug actually fixing the brain directly? Or is the brain just functioning better because, the patient's entire body has less systemic inflammation and healthier blood sugar?
It's actually direct. We know GLP-1 receptors aren't just in the gut. They are native to the brain's immune cells.
Interesting.
So by activating them directly, the drug reduces neuroinflammation and boosts mitochondrial function. Essentially, it's fixing the batteries inside your brain cells so they have the energy to repair themselves.
So it's like, think of insulin like a key that lets fuel into your brain cells. In Alzheimer's, the locks are jammed.
Right.
So GLP-1 seem to be acting like WD-40, basically unjamming those logs so the brain can finally feed itself again.
Exactly. And this is why the era of precision medicine is really here. These molecules are powerful tools.
Yeah, they can clearly be a lifesaver or a nightmare.
Totally, depending on your unique biology. The old one-size-fits-all approach to medical treatment is just becoming obsolete.
It really leaves you with a provocative thought to chew on. Like if a single molecule can simultaneously treat diabetes,
Mm.
curb alcoholism, delay Parkinson's disease, and trigger severe depression.
Yeah.
Does this mean we need to completely redefine how we categorize human diseases in the first place? Maybe the volume dial in our heads dictates a lot more of our physical health than we ever realized.